All right. So, morning dawns on the 3rd of Morin. Let's see. Let us move. Uh, at around 7, uh, those of you who are up, there is a messenger from the Church of Felmar who comes to inform you that your meeting with the Archbishop is going to be not at any one of the three church cathedrals, but at the Royal Trinity Cathedral that is by the palace, which is sort of a more purely ceremonial and religious thing, while the other three churches are highly religious, but also administrative and practical situations. Uh, Abel and Alina, you guys both know exactly where that is. So yeah, so you have 4 hours until that meeting, if you wish. Marrow, you remember your dream as you wake up, but otherwise the morning is uneventful. Meals are provided with your room and lodging. Uh, they can be carried up to your rooms if you want to have a private conversation, or down in sort of the communal tavern area if you wish. Oh, apparently Vagabond Discord is throwing a fit on her. So, Alina and Galahadran are both still sleeping at 7.
No, that's unfortunate because Eileen is the one I would want to coordinate with.
She is like a log. You're like shaking her, and she's not waking up.
It's like whatever force animating her is temporarily experiencing technical difficulties.
Yeah, potentially. Yeah, shame.
Um, I mean, I guess I'll
So
check
what are we discussing?
with the archbishops.
Yes.
Um, I need.
Uh, Archbishop Spade said that he wanted to basically show off Alina to the other archbishops, and when you asked him what else, he was just like, "I have a plan."
It was.
But there's also these are like three of the most important people in the kingdom. I know you have a bunch of other agendas that you might have. You might want to do. I don't know. It's yeah.
Yeah, the main thing is discussing Eileen's issues, and they hinted that there was somebody else. Um, that
Potentially another night.
yeah.
Uh,
So we wanted to find out about that, or I imagine Eilena did, and
Yes.
Abel wants to help her find out about that. So Abel wants to find out too. Um,
Galahadran also really wants to find out.
yes,
I don't
Galahadran
think
really
Uh,
wants
Dave's
to find
going.
out.
Also, I know you asked a question last time of how many knights there are, and I said like 12. There's 9 knights, plus the queen and plus the king, and then yeah, so there's 11. So 9 knights, king and queen.
It was supposed to be 12, and then Lev said that's too many people.
Yeah, I mean, wasn't wrong.
I mean, 11 is close to 12.
It's an ugly,
what's one
uneven
more?
number.
Now, is that 11 with a Merlin stand-in?
I mean, you already spoiled the photo on accident one time. It's 12 with a Merlin stand-in.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
but nobody has knowledge of who that might be at this point.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Hmm.
And that was mainly that's. I'm not bringing that up because it's necessarily significant. I just realized I gave the wrong answer. So
Gotcha.
Happens.
Okay.
But it sounds like Alina is awake now. So Abel would want to coordinate with her over breakfast about what exactly we want to accomplish at this meeting and what information we want to share and what information we don't.
It should come as very little surprise that I am not particularly gifted with words. Tell me what you would like me to do, and I will do it.
That's appreciated. We need to consider all of the angles, because the churches
I,
are. Go ahead.
no, sorry. I didn't mean to speak. I thought I was muted. I was talking to my roommate.
Oh, okay. Um, Basically, we don't know who to trust at this point, and so we have to decide how much we trust. I mean, I guess we trust. We've trusted the bishops pretty far so far.
Did I write that girl's name down? I'm sure I did.
Sienna?
Serena, not
Serena.
Sienna. Not
Yes.
Sienna. Sienna would be my niece. I am not using that name for any characters in here.
Yes, I
No,
wrote
that's
down
fair.
Serena.
Did you make a quest for it?
No, I forgot we could make quests. How do I make
Did
a
you make
quest?
a little note that said Rose remembered it one time and then immediately forgot it?
No, I wrote down. I remember what I know.
Ooh, Chuck's in trouble.
Chuck's always in trouble.
This also would be not only time for you guys to plan, but if you have any like further clarification questions on stuff, like what you would know about who the archbishops are, what you would know about protocol, shit like that. Just a way to get it clear what your characters know moving into this as well as just plan. So I don't want to just throw you in there and just like deal with it. So
Um, well, yeah. So that's kind of our what we need to figure out for this meeting. What I want to talk to Eileen about, like, I guess I should look at the actual descriptions that you've put in here of the bishops. Let's see.
I believe I put them. There we go.
Yeah, I've got them.
And
While you're looking at that, and I was gonna wait for V to get here, but I have been destroying this month's book club book. Or next month's book club book. The one that Tika put forward.
Which book was that?
The Innkeeper's Song
Hmm.
by Peter Spiegel.
Hmm. All right. So looking at the matter at hand, so Archbishop Spade is pretty keen on getting us to do whatever it is we think we're supposed to do. Um, I guess, Alia, what are you hoping to get out of this meeting? Could this meeting have been an email?
Which which meeting? The meeting with the prince? Because
With the
aren't we?
bishops. We're meeting with the bishops first. The archbishops, I should say. And then
Well,
if they think it's important enough, then they might have us meet with the king. Or at least that's what Archbishop Spade said. That might end up being a meeting with the prince and princess. I'm still waiting on my own inquiries, I assume.
You have not heard anything back from the
Yeah.
prince.
Yeah.
And nobody has reached out to the princess, so, or the king, for that matter.
What do I? Well, at first, she mostly wants answers, like, and she doesn't know if the clerical hierarchy can give that to her, but now that there's been a mention of another knight, that is all she can think of.
Yeah.
Like, she'll do whatever it takes to meet that other person.
Yeah, so that's the main thing, is just getting information.
Yeah.
And is there anything we want to hold back? I know you guys were pretty adamant about me not mentioning uh, the things that DeLuca said to us.
Yeah, don't mention what DeLuca said to us. I would prefer we not mention any level of my power.
Mm-hmm.
Other than like until I know what the hell Serena's doing. Outside of that, I don't think it's. I mean, never mind. I don't think we can. It's a lost cause to hide how and what Galahadran has.
Yeah, same thing for Marrow, I think.
Yeah.
They're not exactly inconspicuous.
No.
Several ships have sailed. Um,
If Celine is there, they clearly know what I'm doing or what I am, at least to a degree, though I have no memory of her. I would rather we stay as tight-lipped against her as possible, but I also understand we're in the middle of a room with many more powerful beings than her, so.
that we know of.
Yeah. As we
I
currently
guess
understand her power.
that's a good question. Like within this setting, like would the archbishops be known as like powerful spellcasters? Like I've gotten the vibe so far that it's much more low magic than that.
Oh, I got the vibe that they were full-blown clerics.
In the description, you can see that the two archbishops who you haven't met, the one of Carrick and the one of Rithmus, are both actually paladins.
Close enough.
As for how high magic, it's low magic in the sense that like big powerful like spell like there's no sending or teleportation or things like that. But most low level clerics can like do cantrips and cure wounds and like some minor level healing. For you didn't see like Ten of Spade is 96 going around in a wheelchair like still alive. He didn't display any outward signs of power or anything, but he also didn't press him too much on it. And a lot of the people in the church they're priests, they're clerics are officially of that, but if you translated it into like our current world times, like a lot of the people who are part of the Church of Felmar, even though they're priests, they're like OSHA inspectors and teachers and stuff. A lot of the Rithmus priests are like bankers and whatnot. So there are definitely people in the in the clergy who can channel a decent amount of power from the gods. It's not unheard of, but it's not like the defining characteristic of a priest.
Yeah.
And that's just what you'd know baseline. If you want to make any checks or anything else, let me know.
Let's see. Yeah, I can make a history check for each of the two paladins. I guess both the paladins and Spade to see if I have heard about them performing, like, I guess they would be the equivalent of miracles.
Yeah, go ahead and just roll them in order from in the guide. So we'll start with Greenfield. The name is known to you, obviously. He's a paladin, but he mainly served. He didn't serve anywhere near where your family is concerned. Yeah, you don't really know much beyond that.
Okay. I haven't heard any epic tales of him smiting evildoers or whatever.
But not because I haven't been told, just because you haven't really cared up until recently.
Okay. Oh, I can't do that again. All right, so we'll do history again. Yes, it's a normal roll. This is for Kenneth Spade.
This is for Spade. All the things that you have heard about Spade are about his administrative achievements. You cannot recall like any time he stepped out and like did a bunch of miracles or anything like that. Yeah, I think for a 16, it's like you haven't heard anything, so it's probably not impressive. But to he has definitely been a fixture in church politics administration for as long as you have been alive. Like he has been Archbishop for longer than you've been alive.
Right. But hasn't shown any divine power, at least not that I'm
Hasn't
aware
really
of.
needed to. It's
Yeah.
not what he does.
Okay, and then we'll do. I don't know anything about Archbishop Hawthorne. I barely
No.
know the name.
Yeah, you know what's in that description, and that's just because it's hard to avoid. Elena, I'll let you give any one of those rolls advantage if you'd like. You did not grow up in this nation, so. Or you can roll it yourself if you'd wish.
You have better than a +1?
I do, but my rolls are historically terrible.
The gambler's fallacy.
Never mind.
Who were you rolling on?
Number 3, the third
Number
one.
3, Hawthorne. So you would know about her because she probably did like an inspection of the class for like knights and stuff, and saw that you were skilled and like took an interest in you. She is a very formal, brusque woman. She's basically the equivalent of like an inquisitor, but kind of a uh, like a very powerful tax auditor thing. Like she got her whole career by finding nobles and clergy who are not doing what they should be doing and hunting them down and killing them. Sometimes as just like in some stories as a one woman infiltration army and like killing a whole castle full of guards to get to a noble that was doing things wrong. Like that was one incident that you remember is she by herself stormed a castle and killed like 50 dudes.
Okay.
Whether that is magically assisted, I think that you've seen her make her sword glow and stuff, but she saw that you didn't really have a knack for paladin stuff, so she didn't teach you that, but with her skill with the sword is one of the best you've ever seen.
Unparalleled.
You have memories of King Owen, so no.
Yeah, well, I have one memory of King
Yeah,
Owen.
but
Two
even
memories of
just
King
his
Owen.
presence, you could tell it's like, oh, this is you wouldn't before you got your memories of Owen, this was probably who you would have pegged as like probably the best swordsman you've ever met.
Cool. I will explain all of that to everyone.
Like she was probably one of those guest instructors who came in and like, all right, all 5 of you come at me now and put all of you on your asses. So.
Oh yeah.
I must have skipped that day.
You probably just got hit on the head too hard and you don't remember it.
Well, you see,
It was probably one of Alina's best days ever.
You see, the prince had this party he was getting ready for that weekend, and he put in a large order, and I just was way too busy to go to class.
Happens.
Yeah, and you can probably assume that I would say just because it's far up your wheelhouse and to give you a bit more for rolling a crit, uh, Archbishop Greenfield spent his career on the front lines of the Wrathwastes and the Nolands, just being a war hero, basically. Uh, there are not many paladins who serve the churches. It is very hard to gain the recommendation of enough bishops or the archbishop to be vouched for to like even be able to try out to be a paladin, and then very few are then able to succeed in proving themselves worthy of it. Uh, the ones who do though are usually very exemplary, so that they're even though there's far less of them than there are regular priests, they're usually far more likely to rise through the ranks once they retire. It's very much a retired general becoming president sort of thing.
All right.
So whatever we do, let's not piss them off.
I mean,
Sounds like
they're
a good
older
plan.
now.
Yeah, I don't trust 67 for a half elf is not that old.
Yeah, their half elf lives are not necessarily longer in this world because it's half elf is remember most people have some elven blood, so.
Hmm. Still, I'd rather not risk it.
Mm. And I will also say just another thing, because again, you crit on a knowledge thing. You have heard no such similar stories at all about Archbishop Spade. It's just like he's an administrator. Like he's a builder. He built out the academy systems and built out the outreach program, and like he gets shit done. But he rose through the ranks not by being impressive magically or like fighting wise, but just by being a very good manager.
He's a dweeb. That's okay.
All right. So do you want me to do the talking, or do you want to do the talking?
If you want to start off doing the talking, and then they will probably ask me questions. I don't think she would be comfortable leading the conversation. She's never been comfortable leading the conversation.
Hmm.
Any other
Okay.
questions or plans you wanted to do, or you want to head forward to 11 and start the meeting?
I mean, I don't think we had any subterfuge that we needed to plan, so
It's up to you guys.
I can't think of any right now.
yeah, like we're just going to have a meeting. I do wish that Galahadron was here.
Are the kids
Yeah,
struggling?
they didn't nap and they're mad about it.
Listen, I also didn't nap, and I'm also low key mad about it, so I get it.
Um, I don't hear any screaming now, so I feel like that probably means they're asleep, but then why is Tika not down
You
here?
wanna go check on her, and I can just dip and use the restroom real quick.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, be right back.
Hey, Alex.
Yeah.
I will have you know, I retired my old computer mat and finally plugged in the one Gwen got me.
Ooh.
And it looks dope.
I'll let her know.
It's a little light. I sent her a Snapchat of it. It's a
Ooh.
little light party happening over here. There's a lot of lights happening.
Listen, you're not a serious gamer unless there's RGB.
Truly.
Is it just us?
Parth is
I'm
muted.
here.
Oh,
Aha.
hello.
Hello.
I can't believe my shoes came in exactly 1 week after I ordered them. I ordered them during last session, and they arrived today.
It's pretty good timing, to be honest.
It is. I just think it's funny.
I hope my helmet comes that fast.
Here's hoping. Does it look cool? Did you get a cool one?
I did. I got one that matches my that matches my motorcycle.
So orange with little skull boys on it?
No, black with orange details.
Aha.
Trying to find it and I can't. You'll never see it.
Okay, well, I'm back.
While we're waiting, I hit Punk Hazard, by the way.
Ah, nice. How far into Punk Hazard?
Barely.
Okay.
Law has just shown up
Ooh, with his new hat.
with his new hat.
And
Tell me why
look,
Smoker looks so much hotter with a haircut.
I mean, haircuts do that. Tell me why Law doesn't look like a drowned weasel anymore.
He did kind of look like a weasel. You're not wrong.
Yeah. You know who voices him in the English dub, yeah?
It's Matthew Mercer. That's how
Oh, yeah.
that's the reason. Listen, there are two voice actors that I love more than life itself, and that is Christopher Sabat and Matthew Mercer. Guess who
Yeah.
both are in One Piece
Yeah.
as two of my favorite characters, Matthew Mercer and Christopher Sabat.
There you go.
I do laugh. I do text my roommates every time a new Critical Role voice appears in One Piece, and I call it the Critical Role's takeover of One Piece. So far, we're at 3. Do you know which 3?
Who was the third?
Because it's Matthew as Law, Travis Willingham as Ace,
Yeah.
and Taliesin Jaffe
Oh, yeah,
as
Yep.
Basil Hawkins.
'Cause I always forget about that, even though it's such a perfect casting.
It is.
They should get Brooks VO to play a campaign with him or something. That guy is having way too much fun.
I love Brooke. I love Brooke a lot.
Yep.
I'm really enjoying it though. Now I'm in a new territory. And so it's exciting to have no idea what's going on. Yeah, Smoker and Law are facing off because he flipped their ship over.
He does that. Oh, just while we're waiting on Therantica, Parth. As you guys head to the cathedral, I know it's been a while since this happened, but somebody would probably mention when you get there for like pets not allowed. I just want to remind you that dirt is fully able to just like turn into black goop and just merge into your body. Yeah. So if you feel, or you can leave them at the end. Like it's okay.
Ugh.
I
No,
don't
I'm
like that
good.
description.
All right, I'm back. Deco is also asleep.
All
'Cause
right.
all three of them asleep together. So,
Uh. mm. Well,
so I think it's the beginning of fall, right? So maybe it's just like a cold day, a harbinger, and Galahadron just refuses to get out of bed because it's too cold.
okay. All right. Yeah, can be that. Yeah, Galahadron's just staying in bed, just feels very unwell about it, and the rest of you guys, if you would like, can head to the cathedral. All right. So yeah, around 11, you guys arrive at the Royal Trinity Cathedral. It is a large. The most cathedrals in Aventicum are functional buildings. Like they're like banks or museums or processing houses, like agricultural goods. Like they're decorated and well, like they put a lot of work into them to make them look nice, but they're by and by functional more than ceremonial, with the exception of smaller towns. The Church of Rithmus will often have a sort of wing that is purely for ceremony. It's part of the function of it in smaller towns or cities. In Norest, because it is the cathedrals need to be such administrative hubs, the ceremonial function that is usually done by the Cathedral of Rithmus is instead done by a standalone structure near the Royal Palace that is purely for ceremonial purposes. That looks much more like a conventional European, like Catholic cathedral, so to speak. So as you walk up, there are guards there who will halt you and it's like, hey, state your business. This unfortunately, the cathedral is closed to the public for today. There are important matters being discussed. If you don't have business here, we will need to ask you to leave.
Yes, actually, we were here for the meeting with the archbishops. Uh, my
State your
name's
name.
Abel Whitewater, and this is Eilina Catala, as well
Mhm.
as our companions.
Very good. Yes, Sir Whitewater and his retainers. Uh, yes, the Archbishop Spade is waiting for you inside. Will please. Did you guys bring weapons?
Not the real one.
What does that mean?
The one I don't have to make.
Okay, you would have left that in your room?
Yes.
I would
Okay.
have also left my glaive in my room.
Okay.
Would I know that like you're not supposed to bring weapons here?
Uh, it's usually frowned upon, but you would
Okay.
also have the common sense of you're about to have a meeting with the three most high-ranking members of the church. They're not going to let you bring weapons inside. If you
They're not
brought
going to
them
let
with
you bring
you,
a gun.
yeah, if you brought them with you, they will just hold them until you leave.
Okay.
Like they're perfectly, they deal with knights all the time. This is, they'll
Yeah.
hold your sword or your gun for you.
Yeah. I'll check my gun at the door
Yeah. They're like,
and
ooh, hefty thing.
pull out my dagger as well, my sidearm.
Yes. Thank you.
I think that's all my weapons that I normally carry. I would have left my crossbow at home, so
And it says, are we? And he's like, oh, nope. Seems the dog is on the list. All right. Carry on. Uh, they. All right. So you guys all. Oh, I fucked this up somehow. Okay, I'll deal with that later. Boom. 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 There we go. All right. You guys enter the cathedral. Archbishop Spade is already sitting in a seat near the front. his wheelchair has sort of been pulled off to the side, so he's just sitting in one of the pews regularly. The sort of acolyte token next to him is Serena, who is just standing there, hood down, just standing to his side, just, in case he needs anything. He turns as you guys enter and is like, good, good, good. Glad that you made it. We're still waiting on the other two. Take seats, take seats. They typically like to stand for these things. It's unnecessary, but yes. How are you? Did you sleep well?
Yes, quite well, thank you, Archbishop.
Good, 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 good.
Looking forward to finding out more.
Yes, yes. There's lots to discuss today. Lots to discuss. And a few minutes later, like you guys got here a bit earlier, perfectly punctual on time. The other two archbishops will walk in. They are wearing. They still have the fancier like bishop's robes. Like Spade is just wearing like clerical robes, but with a lot more trim and frill to like denote his station as an archbishop. They have some of those, but they are still over some less functional and more ceremonial pieces of armor, like breastplate, shoulder pads, but not necessarily like greaves or anything. Uh, and they both are carrying weapons. The uh, Archbishop Hawthorne, the Bishop of Rithmus, has a sword with like jewels on the pommel in scabbard at her side, and Archbishop Greenfield has a axe with like its head covered in embossed leather hanging on his hip as well, that look as much part of their like not they're not there to kill anyone. It's just part of they're allowed to do this because they are not only archbishops, they're also paladins. This is a sort of holy place. You guys do not have that privilege, as you are neither of those things. As we're walking, it's like with some cadre of some other clerks and attendants behind them, and it's like, uh, Spade, you called a meeting? Yes, I did. Well, before we begin, though, I believe that we are going to be discussing sensitive matters here. These guests that I have brought are already aware of everything we will be discussing, but recommend you might want to tell your people to step outside for a moment until you deem it wise to update them if necessary. The two other archbishops just sort of look at each other and just turn around and like dismiss their attendants. So it's just them, and they look back at Spade, who is not telling Serena to go anywhere, and they're like, "What of your attendant, Spade?" And she's like, "Oh, you wouldn't deprive a ailed old man of his medical assistant, would you? I trust her."
He's Gandalfing us right now.
The classic.
It's kind of squint. They just both give him a look of just like they're used to this shit from this guy. Like they've what are you insight checking?
The way he said that, they're listen, this girl modified my fucking memory, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, does it seem like he knows that, like, he's basically, do we clock that he's Gandalfing us?
Yeah, you clock video Gandalf, and they probably clock it too.
Okay.
They're just like this little shit. But they can't, what can they say? It's like they don't know what's being discussed here. It's like, whatever. This old man and this woman's not a threat.
Well,
Unlike in Rohan, uh, they're both people who can put up with whatever he's Gandalfing about. They believe.
In the historical moment in Rohan that happened in this world, they believe.
Yeah. So everybody else is dismissed. The cathedral is cleared. It's just you all. Spade just sort of flips his hand up a bit and casts like a dome of silence around the small area that you guys are in. It's like, just in case there are any untoward prying ears, I would like to keep this discussion private if possible. Ah. So yes, he looks back and is like, well, now that we are alone, let me introduce My guess. This is Sir Abel Rightwater and his retinue. And he sort of motions for Abel to introduce the rest of you.
Okay, I'll bow to. I assume both the archbishops are in the same, like they're standing next to each other.
They're sort of formed a triangle, sort of thing, equidistant from each other.
Okay, I will bow to the. Hang on, I'm gonna.
Protocol would probably be Carrick first.
That's what I was about to say. Yeah, I just forgot their name.
Yeah.
So I'll bow to Archbishop Greenfield first, and then to Archbishop Hawthorne, uh, and then I'll address them both and say, uh,
Oh,
uh,
one second.
yeah, go ahead.
Sorry about that.
Okay. So I'm gonna give them like a very deep, respectful regulation, like academy level bow, and say, Archbishops, thank you for granting us a small amount of your precious time. Uh, as Archbishop Spade introduced, I am Sir Abel Whitewater. My companions here are Eilina Catala, uh, Phelan, and Marrow. And I gesture to each in turn.
Yeah. The
That is
archbishops look at
fine.
you. Greenfield is like, House Whitewater. I'm not familiar. And Hawthorne will interject. It's like, believe that they are in the west, in the county of Pontem. Although I am familiar with Katala. Hello, Alina.
And she bows and she smiles and she's like, Archbishop, it has been a little while.
Yes, I had heard that you were offered a knightship with the royal family and with House Alenthe. Interesting to see you becoming a retainer to not even the nephew of a Castellan?
Um,
Interesting.
in all fairness, I am not technically his retainer. I
His
am just his friend.
traveling companion, yes. Um, it's a convenient shorthand.
Greenfield will kind of looks like, so are the rest of them just traveling companions? No, not retainers, no oaths have been sworn to you?
No oaths have been sworn to me. That is correct, sir.
Sort of looks over at Spade. It's like, what a Spade. Let's get to the point. Why are they here? Why are we here too as well? Spade, patience, patience. I believe and he sort of licks his lips and just gets very eager and excited. It's like, well, if you wish to chase like that, it is very proud to announce that the Knights Eternal are returning to us. And they just kind of look at him. It's like, is this really why you called this meeting, Spade? Really? No, no, it's quite true. It's quite you. I'm not some nutter from the Regency or anything like that. I have proof. I have evidence. Miss Katala. His emotions just waving over at you to come forward with his arm, just like get over here. Come, show them, show them.
I step forward, and I look at the Archbishop Hawthorne, and I say, ma'am, you know that I am no paladin, but I have. So I'd like to preface with that. I would like to start with, you know that I am no paladin, but, and then I'll do the wings thing.
And they both look at that. Their eyes go wide a bit. And it's like, oh, do you mind? And Hawthorne will step forward with your approval and just like inspect the wings more closely.
Yeah,
Hmm,
that's fine.
interesting. And these are real. It's like, yes, yes. Here, I'm gonna, so that you can tell who's talking because I'm doing 3 people at once. It's like, yes, yes. Now, as you can see, they're quite real. They match exactly the ancient paintings of the Knights Eternal that we just. It's like, yes, yes. No, I'm aware of the shorthand. Hmm. Alina, this is a surprise. Now, forgive me for not believing Spade here, but why do you think that this means that you are a Knight Eternal and not just a particularly blessed paladin?
Well, I have no other um paladin abilities. And on top of that, and I'm gonna pull out my echo.
And they sort of take a step back on that and just look at it. It's like, Greenfield's hand goes for his axe a bit, and he narrows at it. It's like, Spade, what is this? Is she a summoner as well?
No, 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 sir.
I was not aware of that talent. She didn't show me that yesterday. Curious, quite curious.
If it would make everyone more comfortable, I can get rid of it.
Please.
I'll get rid of it.
Alright. It's like, Spade, I've seen magic like that before. It's very similar to what some of the Knoll mages do out in the frontier when they're summoning their little hyena monstrosities. Never seen one that's humanoid shaped, though. That's neither here nor there. This is obviously, look at the wings. Look at the light. It's obviously a Knight Eternal.
Sirs, there is more. After leaving the
Please,
academy,
please.
I have been plagued. At first I thought it was an illness. But memories keep surfacing. I have very distinct memories of King Owen, and I also have memories of, and I explain. I'll just explain the memories that I have witnessed so far.
And as you sort of speak, just Spade continues to pause, like, see? Further evidence. I have told you. The Knights Eternal are returning. King Owen's return is imminent, and Basmar is the rightful inheritor of the mantle of the Empire. They sort of roll their eyes at him. It's like, I don't see how those things are related, Kenneth. I really don't.
While this is going on, could I do a vibe check on what's her name? The
Yeah.
assistant, just to see like
Celine.
what her Selena, to
Yeah.
see what her reaction is to the echo.
Yeah.
I mean everything, but particularly the echo.
Yeah, go ahead and do an insight check.
Oh, come on.
She is keeping her hood down over her face and standing stoic and stock still, and makes no reaction to any of the conversation that is happening.
Unfortunate.
I'd be like, Kenneth, that is. It's just sort of like exasperated. It's like, Alina, I apologize for whatever the Archbishop of Felmar has gotten you into. You obviously have gifts. I would be more than happy to discuss them at length, but that the Knights Eternal are returning is not something that we would need more evidence for such a claim. And Greenfield just sort of nods in agreement. It's like, do you have anything else, Spade? And Spade smiles and is like, oh, I do. For it's not just the Knights Eternal who have returned. And he puts his hand to Serena's back and sort of nudges her forward a bit. And she steps forward.
Oh, bitch. Oh, bitch.
Ba-ba. Ooh. And she puts her hood down, and you see that she has short cropped green hair.
Gasp.
And Spade smiles. He's like, they all look at him. It's like, Kenneth, you dyed your assistant's hair green. And he's like, oh no, it's natural. I have done the test. We will give you a sample if you need. Not only that, but she has also performed miracles under my care. They sort of look at each other. It's like, what do you mean by that, Kenneth? It's like, Harold, do you remember the cursed soldiers from the front lines who I asked you to remit to my care for treatment a few months ago? Yes. I would be more than happy to show you them now. They are all fully healthy and free of their afflictions. And Greenfield's, like, just sort of stops at that. It's like, are you serious? Quite. Curse breaking alone doesn't make it. It's like, there are too many coincidences piling up, Greenfield. There are too many. You have seen the wings of the night. You have seen this hair blessing, just like Queen Guinevere. The knights are returning, and I believe that it is Serena's duty here to find them, just as the Queen helped Owen find the original knights, and unite them under one banner. So when Owen returns, we will be ready to face the demons at the gates. The other two paladins, as he says this, give him the biggest fucking glare imaginable, of just like, everybody's passive insight is enough to clock this. He has just said something that they do not believe he should have said in front of everybody else here. And I will give this to... Mara would have no context for this. Phelan, kind of not as much. There are words for, like, monstrous entities in this region's language, just as there's like there's words for, spirits and like little trickster things from, what would be, folk tales and stuff. It's just that the word fairy doesn't exist in this nation's lexicon. Similar way, demons. The word demon does not exist in this world. There's monsters, there's monstrosities, there's fiends even. But the word demon is not one that exists as a word in this language.
Okay, so he basically just said that, like, the at the gates, like
Yeah.
it registered as a word that's like not something that we know, that not a word we've heard before.
Not a word that you've heard before, but also a word that fills you with menace and dread in an instinctive level. The word itself carries impact in your bones.
So I guess I'm gonna speak up when he says that and says, I'm sorry, I don't think I'm familiar with that word. What's at the gates exactly?
He turns and smiles at you. It's like, why, the enemies that King Owen drove from this world to bless it in the name of the Trinity.
Wait, I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think back as me, the player, to the legend. Did it specify what the enemies were? I thought it was just he conquered the region.
The legend and the book that you have is that he conquered the region. Alina, why don't you make a wisdom save?
Oh no.
Oh no.
Alina collapses on the floor.
I pick her up.
Alina, your mind is awash of scenes of battle, and the Knights Eternal are at your sides. You get glimpses and flashes of them. You don't see faces or distinction or anything like that. But you do know with familiarity these are your comrades in arms. You're fighting alongside them. You're you recognize somebody as your brother that you're fighting back to back with, spears just striking out all around you. And there are orcs and humans and elves who are fighting on this battlefield as well, but they are all fighting on your side. What you are fighting are large monsters with rippling, skinless flesh covered in mouths that are just devouring soldiers on the field, biting them in half, draining the light from their eyes, and twisting and contorting into monstrous things as just carnage plays out all around you. And as soon as she collapsed, there's like a few minutes that go by before she awakes again with a sharp breath.
I caught her so she didn't hit her head on the floor or anything.
Kind of sort of looks back and is like, ah, an interesting reaction.
I want to say a thing, and I don't know. Actually, I wouldn't call them that. So she'd wait when she rouses. She would quietly get. They didn't have skin.
Serena's gonna walk up and help you as well to your feet and like touches your shoulder, and your emotions calm and the panic subsides. She's like, "Stand, sister, stand. Do not be afraid. We triumphed against them once. We shall triumph against them again."
Not Phelan quietly moving up.
She eyes failing as he walks up.
Yeah, she can get
Doesn't
eyed
say
right
anything.
back.
Yeah. Archbishops, I have been given visions as well of these demons before the Archbishop's spade confirmed their existence. I have seen them on the fields on the Wrathwaste near my hometown of Walden. I know that this is a dire threat that we face, and I do believe that the Trinity has blessed me with the task of uniting the Knights Eternal, the first of which is Alina here. With your help, we shall find the others, we shall reform the Knights, and we shall build an army that King Owen might return to and lead in this battle. They just kind of look between each other, look at her, look at you guys. I will need to investigate this evidence that the curse on these soldiers has been removed. Yes, please feel free. I'm more than happy to provide them to you, and if there are any other similarly cursed ones, please bring them to Serena, and she shall cure them of their afflictions. But I might add, you, the regular priests and paladins, were not able. It was only her gifts from the Trinity that were powerful enough to break this curse.
May we ask what this curse was?
It is some of the soldiers on the borders with the gnolls. When they return from battle with them, they are plagued by nightmares and terrors. It keeps them from being able to sleep. It drives them slowly mad. It's a terrible curse that we have found no cure for as of yet. You would have heard. This is something that Rowan would have told you about at some point, of just like something that his people have to deal with. Of sometimes people come back from hearing, and they can't stop hearing the cackling of gnolls in their head, and it just drives them insane. Even if they're fully, healthy in body, their minds just gradually degrade.
So no weird rampant plant growth?
No, not weird rampant plant growth. And Greenfield would actually look at you and is like, "'Tis not the same as the heresy that you uncovered in Creek."
Oh, good. So you're aware of that.
Oh yes, Bishop Elenthe gave me much of a report. It was not on my mind until you all introduced yourselves, and then I did remember it. No, that is a separate issue that we keep contained as best we can, despite the proclivities of some. And he glares at Spade. Spade's like, "No, listen here. I know that you are not fully in support of it, but my outreach program is what brought this blessed woman to us, and I assert that despite the dangers that your priests might encounter in that and falling to whatever this corruption is, not only must we not stop it, we must expand it. It is my theory that the Trinity are blessing those in regions of heavy conflict with the powers of the New Knights, and we will find this next generation in places such as the Garen Woods or the Duchies, or even the borders near Zareth and Korthia. It is not going to be in softer lands, I'm afraid.
I don't know that that means that we should stoke such conflicts further, though.
Oh, there's no stoking of conflicts in the Garen Woods, as we are merely defending ourselves from the Wrathways. Yes, no, I do agree with Spade on that. If it weren't for our military presence helping the dwarves of Garen Dun, then that area of forest would have long ago been overrun, and the hobgoblins would be at our doors.
Hmm.
Tell me, Sir Whitewater, what is you and your retinue's involvement in all of this? What is your opinion on Spade's conjectures and Alina's assertions?
Hmm. Um, I'm out of character. I'm trying to remember. Did we talk to did we tell Spade about how Galahadrin met with somebody he claimed to be a Knight Eternal in the Feywild? I'm trying to remember if that would be relevant, something that I should bring
I'm
up now or keep secret.
I'm not sure if he explicitly said that in the conversation, but that could just be something where he says it to enough people, or if you want to say that he did it, it would certainly make sense.
Okay. Well, then it's also a question for the group because we didn't explicitly discuss this in our prep time.
I'm also not sure if you could have stopped Galahadrin from saying it if he wanted to.
I'm pretty
That
sure
is true.
Galahadrin said like he met a Knight Eternal. He's the Prince of Summer, and
Oh
then
yeah, yeah, and
and
Spade is
Spade
just
just
like,
laughed
never
him
heard of a
off.
Green Knight. Yeah,
Yeah,
never heard of a Green Knight. Yeah, yeah, they
yeah,
would have told Spade. He would have told Spade that. Yeah,
yeah. Well, no. I mean, I think he did, like in the actual
yeah,
RP, and
yeah. That's
Spade
what I
just laughed
mean.
him off.
Is
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. That's what I'm saying is that you
yeah.
would have told Spade that. Spade has
Uh,
not mentioned it here.
okay. Um. So I guess I'm gonna address the other archbishops in response to their question and basically say, um, I think the possibility is not something that can be ignored. We of the Knights Eternal returning, we all came together in Creek uh, during that incident that the bishop informed you of, and we had a good team uh, that was able to at least contain it, um, and we thought we could help each other. I particularly, Eileen is a friend of mine, so I wanted to help her. And Marrow and Phelan also agreed to come and help in our travels, having seen uh, what happened in Creek. I'll let them speak for themselves as to their specific reasons.
And and does your lord also support you in this matter?
My lord is more focused on the war with Colmar.
Mm.
I have brought the matter to his attention, but he's somewhat dismissive of it. That's actually, I am in this city technically not for the purpose of escorting Eilina, although that is my primary personal reason. but my lord had entrusted me with another task, which required me to travel to the capital.
I see. Does that task have any pertinence to this current discussion?
No.
Very well. And what of your companions? What are their qualifications? I see that you have a pet here with you, and another one of Spade's converts, I assume?
Meru is not my pet.
Marrow is no one's pet.
Yeah.
Marrow wears the collar for decorative purposes. She can speak well enough on her own.
They sort of raise an eyebrow at that, and it's like, all right, fair enough. And what of you, Mr. Phelan, was it?
Yes, I have a strength of my own. I have seen what they can do. I choose to follow them to better assist what they can do and may become.
And you are of the faith, yes?
I was raised in it, yes.
Have you taken your vows?
I have not.
I assume that Mero as well has not?
I don't
She
believe they.
I don't believe so. Yeah.
she just goes, what vows?
Ah.
She's very much not paying attention.
Spade, if this... Before, when I thought that this was merely going to be a childish theory of yours, I would not have cared that you brought two faithless in here, but with the gravity that you are giving this situation, I am surprised at how casually you are treating the sharing of this information. Well, you know, it's... if the Knight Eternal comes and puts trust in those around them, then, you know, Alina... I was going to tell Alina, and Alina was going to tell them. I don't see the harm in that. Isn't that right? Isn't that right, Alina? You trust them?
I do.
Ah, see? Knight Eternal trust them. Stop We don't know that for certain yet. I do.
I would also like it stated that if circumstances, more evidence comes forward and it is proven that I am a Knight Eternal, I do also have a brother in this life as well.
Do you know where he is? Do you think that he is a knight as well?
If I am a knight and I am who I think I am, then he is more than likely also a knight.
What do you mean by you are who you think you are? Do you believe that you are actually one of the knights, not just a new one?
Well,
Oh, that would be preposterous.
and she smiles a little bit to herself. But she goes, I do believe he is. He's in that one place that I have once again forgotten the name of.
Xeris.
Last time I saw him, he was headed towards Xeris. That is all I know.
Well, believes that should be the first place you should start checking Spade. Anywhere within the Kingdom of Xeris. Oh yes, no, we'll get right on that. But on that matter, what I did call you here for, in addition to your support, is more specifically your support and resources. We require more funding for Spade. There are enough matters going on here that we shall... You can bring it to His Highness, or to His Majesty, and if His Majesty supports it, then the kingdom can fund it. The church will have no official hand in this. Why would they not? Do we not? Spade just kind of like flabbergasted, just kind of starts pouting a bit.
Out of character. So if the king wanted this to happen and ordered me to do it, that would take precedence over my oaths to my uncle, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh
Okay.
yeah.
But
I'm
but
assuming that's how it works.
but it would be against protocol for the king to do that to you directly and not ask it of your uncle and then your uncle delegate it to you. Because your oath is to your uncle.
Right.
Well, that's aside. The second thing that I wanted to do, although it doesn't seem like he's here right now, where's your friend, the other wood elf, the
Galahadran.
one who had the relic? Yes, him. Where is he?
Yes. Um,
He's also not a wood elf.
yes. Well, as the Prince of Summer, this is his first experience with fall, apparently, and he did not feel well enough to get out of bed this morning.
That is a shame. Their other companion is a rather strapping young lad who has already acquired a
Him?
relic, Dawn's Reach, and I believe, based on my review of his character and Serena's good feeling, while we do not believe he is a Knight Eternal, we would like to recommend him to become a Paladin. And the other two just facepalm at this, just like, Spade, why? Why? Good feeling about him. I liked the lad.
Do we know? Has Galahadran said before that he is a paladin?
I
I feel
believe
like he
so.
has.
Yeah, I think he's
Uh,
referenced that he's a paladin already.
I think he said that he's a knight. I don't think he said the term paladin specifically. Aside from like class stuff.
Right. Um,
In character, he has said that he is the Green Knight and the
yeah.
Prince of Summer.
but we have also seen him lay
You've
on
seen him
hands.
do things you associate with paladins,
Yeah,
yeah.
we've seen him lay on hands. So would that imply that he doesn't need to take another oath to become a paladin? Like, could that be given as evidence that he is in fact a paladin?
So there is. Go ahead and you two can make religion checks on this.
Where's the button?
I need to go and study my own religion.
Well, A, you're a slacker and Alina's foreign, so.
That's not terrible for a foreigner.
I have no idea.
That's terrible.
It's, Alina, you would know, because again, you were looking into this sort of stuff. Paladin is less like becoming a paladin doesn't mean you automatically gain abilities. It's having the blessings of the Trinity allow you to become a paladin. Paladin is a formal rank that comes with duties and privileges.
But I could ascertain that the abilities that I have seen from Galahadran so far align with what I know of paladins, correct?
They would be very similar. If you just saw Galahadran doing what they were doing and they weren't so obviously not a member of the clergy, then you would probably assume, like, you know, the probably paladin-ish. Like, it's Galahadran's a weird case because Galahadran does not really act how you would envision a paladin would act, so that kind of goes against it a bit.
He's an out of context problem.
Yeah. But like, yeah, healing people with a touch, that's very, that's a blessing of the Trinity, how you would interpret it. You wouldn't have any context for people outside of that doing anything of the sort. And Kenneth was like, yes, no, he's already using a relic, and Sir Whitewater here is worried about that relic falling into the hands of his uncle. And
Well,
the
yes.
other bishops are like raising their eyebrows at that, and
Perhaps a bit more
Esmeralda's like,
explanation is required
yes,
here.
please.
So that does relate to the other business that I am here on. You see, do you know about what happened at Dranis? No? Okay.
Recently?
Yes. So
No.
my
We have not
uncle.
received any reports from Dranis recently.
Yes. No. Okay. Then allow me to inform you of what happened. So my uncle entrusted me to travel to Dranis and execute on a deal that he had made to trade for some. Uh, well, he didn't give me the details at the time, but basically it was he gave me a bag of holding. He said the payment was in the bag of holding. I was to take it to Pinch Whistle Imports, exchange the bag of holding for what was in the bag of holding for the delivery of weapons, and then bring it back. But it turns out that the payment was Dawn's Reach, which, as I can imagine, you are aware is incredibly improper.
Yes, that seems untowards for your family to give one of their holy relics as payment for anything of that like.
Yes. So, as the last noble to be in personal possession of Don's Reach, I have taken responsibility for the relic to ensure that it, stays within the hands of our house uh, for the time being, until such time as it could be determined uh, what should be done about all of that. Uh, it's rather difficult for me to do anything, being, the him being my liege and all. Uh, but I'm doing what I can to try and make the situation right. Uh, so that's my other business here, is as the weapons are currently being impounded, uh, the person who would be able to unimpound them would be the king. So I am here to see the king.
Do you suspect any illicit activities from your liege are behind these actions?
What do you mean illicit activities?
Well, you said that he was going to be trading a relic for some weapons. Were these Are there troubles with your family's finances? Are there reasons that he would need weapons under the table? This all sounds rather suspicious.
I am not. I am not aware of any problems with the family's finances. Um, I have. I mean, the only thing that I could that I know for sure is that the laws on imports and exports from Felmar were not followed, at least as far as we're aware. So, or I'm aware.
I see. It seems,
But yes, I
from what
agree.
you're
I,
from what
I
you're telling me, an audit is in order.
uh, yes, an audit would definitely be in order.
Very well. She'll contact. I believe it's Bishop Blackbriar who'd be responsible for that. I'll contact her immediately. Have a
Hmm.
begin that clandestinely.
Hmm. I think this into the back of my head. It's like that might be trouble.
Do you say that?
Actually,
No,
I think
I said that
I would
literally in my
say
head.
I know. I know.
I literally prefaced that with in the
I
back of my
know.
head. I
Yeah.
think, oh, that might be bad. But maybe not. I mean, if he gets in trouble, then like, uh,
Is Alina reacting to this?
yeah, Alina, I don't think Alina can stop herself. She goes, Archbishops, we've had several troubling events on our journey that putting aside the selling of a relic for a bushel of guns. Um, and I'll explain.
Radiant's duty is to persevere from any trial and tribulation. Kenneth, let them speak.
Did I miss the Ryan Seacrest? So my roommate's calling me down for a very late dinner. Er, but I would bring up the zombies because I don't remember us saying not to bring up the zombies. So I'm gonna bring
the
up the
House Seabreeze. Yeah.
yes, the Seabreeze whites.
That seems highly irregular, but do you have any idea of where they came from? Did you have any markings? Did you bring them to the Church of Rithmus after you had disposed of them?
We
We
did.
did bring
Yes.
them.
I will reach out. Was the cathedral in Dranus?
That's right.
I will reach out to the bishop there and see what they are able to find any connections. I don't want to rely on conjecture when it comes to such things. Things have been far too messy since the Regency has gotten further involved in the war in the south.
Is that new information to me? Out of
No,
character?
no.
Okay.
You saw that giant bone collector construct in
Right.
Draenus.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I think there's more going on. And she gently touches Abel to know that, like, to let him know that she is not meaning him, in that town, than I think people are aware of.
Yes, and I believe that having young Galahadrin become a paladin, officially sanctioned by the church to carry that relic, would be neatly sidestep all that other political issues and grant us another strong ally in our fight against the demons. Kenneth, just fine. If you wish to sponsor him, I will not object to it, but that shall be your matter. I will have no part in it. That's good enough.
Sirs, I do not mean to overstep. I am no paladin myself. However, and I do not understand the blessings that come. But I have seen Galahadrin use some of the abilities that we only align with. That is not the right word I was looking for, but that we attribute to people of the paladin rank.
So you would vouch for his character in this as well?
I would.
I'll second that as well.
And do you know whether if he has a preference for which god to swear himself to? It sounds like is he even a member of the faith, or is he faithless as the other two?
He's
Oh,
not.
quite faithless at the moment, but that's part of what having him become a paladin would be. It's like Kenneth, I can't.
Well, as long as we're throwing around words that nobody's heard about, um, right? I'm trying to remember it in character. We're not keeping a secret. Yeah, because he said he's the Prince of Summer, so we're not keeping a
Yeah.
secret that he's a Fae.
No, you would have
Yeah.
no context for why that's yeah.
Okay. So I guess I'll just say it straight out to the bishop. It's like, so I mean, while we're throwing around new words, uh, Galahadrin has made some interesting claims about his own origins. Uh, I don't think that he is one of the wood elves like Phelan here. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Um, he claims to be from a place called the Feywild and be the Prince of Summer. Does that have any meaning to you? It doesn't seem to have much meaning to anybody else, but he's very
I
adamant about it.
actually looked into that. There is a House Somerset who lived in Old Ishvalia before the Fell, who were the chief gardeners for the royals of the city.
I think it is much more separated than that, Archbishop. I think it is not a house, but a place. And I know
I mean,
that.
they had to control the gardens within Ishvalia. Kenneth, if you're going to bring them here to speak, let them speak.
But I think it is somewhere removed from our normal existence. And I would also like to clarify, when I said attributes of a paladin, I was not speaking of his character. I was speaking of his physical abilities.
Yes, he also performed some miracles while we were in the Garen Woods and Creek. The town guards were afflicted by a terrible illness, and he cured them with a touch.
There are some druids I have seen in the woods who have healing powers that mimic the blessings of the Trinity, but are not quite as potent as the ones of the faithful. It could be something. I would need to see it myself. But nevertheless, unless he wished to seek the blessings of Carrick specifically, then you do not need my approval, and I will not stand in the way if Kenneth wishes to give his own blessings. Do you know which god he would wish to swear himself to?
I do not. Um,
Yeah, I wouldn't speak for him on that matter myself either.
We'll say for the induction ceremony, the closest festival is Rithmus's Day, if that is what he wish to pursue, although I'm not sure if such a tight timetable as 2 months is applicable. After that, it would be quite some time. How urgent is the situation with retaining the relic, and if you have qualms about your uncle having control over it?
Well, I think that depends largely on the results of your audit.
Well, depending upon those results, yes, we can see how that turns out. I will need to, of course, exclude you from any updates given your situation.
Of course.
Well,
I'll make sure to forward you my notes on the matter. And if you wish to have one of your investigators conduct an interview, I will submit myself for an interview as well.
I expect that you will. Now, is there any other nonsense you wish to bring to our attention, Kenneth? Oh, no, that's mostly it. Just the Knights Eternal are coming back. We have one knight over there with Alina, and we have I have my sort of assistant here, Serena, has the blessings that the Queen had, and then gonna make that one elf, Paladin. It's pretty much my plans right now. I have a meeting with the King after this to bring this all to his attention. It's like, you've already... Oh, they all are just exasperated about this.
Did we say that there's a knight in the Feywild too? Did I miss
We
that?
have not mentioned that, no.
You mentioned it to Spade. Spade does not put any. Spade did some research and is like, oh yeah, of course this guy's an elf. He has a house with the name of Summer in it. Easy.
So on the matter of the knights, I do have one more ability. I can also sometimes, very limitedly, heal with the touch, but also we have word of another knight that we are looking into ourselves, if that ever comes about.
And where are they?
Looks at Abel.
Galahadrian claims to have heard of our land from him in the Feywild. He cites this knight, whom he only has referred to us as the Green Knight. He says that he heard tales of this land and from the Green Knight and wished to come and see it for himself and become a hero in this land as well. It's kind of served as his inspiration. And the tale that he tells loosely matches up with the tales of the Knights Eternal.
Ah, yes, another knight appearing in the Lost Woods and the ruins of Ishvalia would support my theory that the Trinity is granting blessings to those who are surviving in high conflict areas. Well, if you find him, please bring him here for us to meet him and look into his claims.
Yes, of course. Obviously, since we're not quite sure where the Feywild is, we're still looking into that. That's kind of a long-term goal, I think. We're just keeping an eye out.
Yes. Well, if that is if there's not anything else that you wish to bring to our attention, I do have other meetings I must get to today. So it looks around and is like, Lena, it was good seeing you again. We'll see how this all shakes out.
It was good to see you as well.
And Serena just kind of goes, may the Trinity bless us all in our paths forward. And they just kind of give her a look. Just like this weird elf who dyed their hair green. They do not believe her. You can just, again, passive insight is the other two archbishops are like, this is all a crock. Yeah. You guys have not really done anything to really convince them.
Other than maybe get my uncle in big trouble.
Other than that is really the main thing that has come of this this meeting. and they are going to make to leave. Kenneth is going to stay, and it's like, oh yes, the meeting with the king is in this cathedral at 1, so I believe, Serena, if you might bring me my lunch, shall have it here. And I was like, well, yes, feel free to have lunch in the holy cathedral. We shall be going.
As she goes to pass me, I'm going to lean over to the Archbishop Hawthorne.
Yeah, as they
And
as yeah.
because I'm trying to. So we asked the other. We did ask Spade
Mhm.
if he knew the words Genesis and Hound Mother. Do we
Yeah.
want to ask? This would have been in our prep time, but I totally forgot.
I mean, if Spade knows, I don't see any reason not to let them know, because he's gonna blab about it. Obviously, he's not very concerned with operational security.
I
Well,
think Al ducked a bit early, but Al's contribution to the pre-planning was to not tell them anything that DeLuca told you guys for one reason or another.
That's true. Well, yeah,
that
not
is
to
true.
But
mention
I'm not sure
DeLuca.
if he remembered that you mentioned it to Spade, but Spade certainly has not mentioned it to either of these two. So
I think it's a judgment call.
Yeah,
It's
we've
probably
already
better to just
mentioned.
say less, no?
Yeah.
Because you can always tell them later. And just be like, oh, oops, forgot to say this.
Or we could be like, oh, hey, we just learned this crazy word.
Wow.
Wow. Like, say less.
Okay, sorry.
well, they're
You're good.
passing by.
No,
Remy,
I want to ask, but I do not
God.
want to.
You got to make a decision in 5,
Let them
4.
pass. Let them leave.
Okay.
And not have lunch in the holy place.
Hawthorne will leave. As Greenfield is walking past, as he walks past Marrow, his hand very visibly grips the handle to his axe, and he glares at Marrow, as just like restraining himself from just killing Marrow on the spot, and keeps on
Damn.
going.
He does not give a fuck.
No.
He's done threat displays before. She knows what one looks like.
All right. Well, that didn't go as well as I was hoping, but Alina, how did you like our surprise? Look, she has the blessing of the Queen. Aren't you excited? Really expected you to be more enthusiastic about that, not going to lie.
I am. However, it is impolite to react loudly in a formal meeting. And she smiles gently to let him know that she is pleased, and I cannot get this
And
needle.
I as well apologize for not telling you sooner, sister. It took all of my restraint to not inform you when we spoke words yesterday, but I am happy now that we can embark together upon this duty that the Trinity has entrusted us with. And she puts out her hands for you to hold again. It's like very, very
Uh,
warmly and invitingly.
I have a
Like this.
question because I
Yeah,
am construing emotions again. Actually, I don't think I am. But like this bitch straight modified my memory yesterday.
you don't know that.
Um,
Phelan just told you that.
but I trust Phelan.
Okay.
Why do you say it like that? Ugh. Don't modify my memory, love. Get out of my head. Leave
Okay.
my um she's suspicious at very least. And she casts a Phelan's
Make
not
a
here,
Are
but
you trying to hide that suspicion, or do you need to make a deception check as she approaches you? And
um I'm gonna look at Phelan even though Phelan's player is not here. And then I'm gonna look at Abel before she approaches.
We done a vibe
Um,
check on this girl.
Do you want me to? I can like intercept her and just be like, ah, it's so nice, finally. have more than one Knight Eternal here.
Indeed, yes, Sir Whitewater, and thank you again for all the assistance that you have given my sister. It
Of
is,
course.
it is a blessing that you have been there to help her on her path to here, and I hope that you will continue to support her in future endeavors. It was not King Owen of the Knights Eternal alone who saved this realm, but it was the thousands of mortals who stood beside them as well that saved this land and will save it in the future. I look forward to your continued support.
Of course, it's the least I can do.
I have a question for you.
Of course.
What do you remember?
Or tilts her head. It's like, remember. It's a strange way to put it. Are the visions that you see, do you experience them as memories?
They happen mostly when I am contemplating a moment. Like the last one I saw, I was thinking specifically of a moment. Like I was trying to remember a moment. So I remember them as memories.
Yes, no, for me there are more visions of things to come, of my hometown being overrun by the monsters of the wastes, of the foes that the Trinity is preparing us to stand against. I'm not fortunate enough to have memories of what has happened in the past, no.
Yes, all of mine seem to be the past and nothing of the future.
That is curious. Hopefully, well, I am sure that the Trinity gave you those with a purpose. And please, enlighten me if you discover anything from them that can help us in our duties.
So far, I am afraid I do not remember much. But I must also ask, since the Archbishop is a little, she's going to lean forward, and she's going to lower her voice, and she's going to ask, how do you know Phelan?
Going to
Who
look
is
over at him. It's
right
like,
next to me, apparently.
yeah, yeah, and he's was standing next to him, and he has told me that he is just going to stand there and simply watch and not talk. Uh, and she is going to look over at him. And it's like, I'm not sure that he knows me, but we both grew up in Walden in the outreach program. I left a few years before he did. Uh, has he not told you that?
I don't think he. So, as far as I can tell, I say, shooting him a glance, he does not remember you.
Saddens me to hear that. We were not particularly close, I guess.
However, and my memory has been something of on the fritz recently, as we all know. I remember, or don't remember more specifically. But I feel like you warned me to. I'm leaning away from Phelan at this point. Like this is very conspiratorial. Um, I I have just like a vague memory of you warning me about him. What was that about? Why should I be wary of him?
Just looks over at him. It's like, again, the reputation that I knew of him, I would not expect him to be in such prestigious circumstances. And that concerns me, considering some of the other company that he kept.
Are you talking about, was he a gnome?
Yeah, Gary.
Are you talking about Gary, perchance?
So he did tell you some things.
Well,
Yes.
not so much tell us as, Gary ran into us.
Did he? Well,
He is in town.
I would stay clear of that one.
Oh, you will hear no arguments from me.
Yes. Serena, I know that you are having a lovely chat over there, but I would like my sandwich. Of course, Archbishop. I will fetch it at once. She goes and grabs his lunch, leaves you guys to...
I don't know how I feel about the Archbishop having the Queen Guinevere figure uh, fetching him his lunch.
Yeah?
Like both in and out of character.
That's
Yeah.
kind of icky. But that may give me the ick last time too, so this is not surprising.
She is his personal assistant. For a 96-year-old paraplegic man. But yeah, she leaves. You guys have 2 hours until the king is supposed to meet with the king. We'll probably do that next session just so that everybody can be here.
Yeah, I guess I'll go check in on Galahadron so they can be here for the next session.
Okay.
I'll
Were
go
there
with
any
you.
other things that you wanted to sort of wind down on for here in the castle? Just
Yeah.
post brief.
As soon as we step out to go get Galahadron, I am going to. Alina is going to stumble.
Abel will catch her.
And she is going to relay the vision that she saw in the cathedral.
Hmm.
Oh, also gain 1 point of exhaustion from that vision. Sorry, forgot to do that.
Fine. Do I know how to do that on this sheet?
It is. Oh shit, where'd it go?
Effects. I found it.
Yep, there you go. It looks like you just made that inactive.
Well, I apparently have 2 points of exhaustion.
Okay, no, that's not how that should work. Should only be 1, otherwise it's gonna double up.
I was like, how long have I had the...
Yeah. Where is it? Used to be on the front here. Huh. I will need to look at where it went because it looks like they took it off for this new sheet. Yeah, I'm gonna need to look at where that is. When they updated the system, they took off the neat little right there thing. That's very weird. Oh, they made it. They made it a toggle. They just made it a toggle. Those sons of bitches. They fucked up my whole thing for exhaustion. Those fuckers. Okay, I won't be able to use the exhaustion system. Motherfucker. I hate this. There is on the effects thing. There's conditions, but instead of originally there was a exhaustion that you could tick up, and now it's no longer there. It's instead
Right,
of
it's on the character profile above the initiative. You can do it to start
exhaustion
level 2.
levels. Oh, it's the little dots. Oh, thank you, Parth.
I only know that because I happened to see it the other day.
Nice. So it's those dots underneath the portrait on
Oh,
yeah.
but it looks like it does the other version.
Ah,
Mm.
I did it.
Yeah, because if you give yourself exhaustion level 2, it makes your walking speed 15 feet. Which
I
is
only have 1 level.
you
What
can
is
you can
happening to
just
my character sheet?
yeah. Sorry, I was clicking on them too. You can just click it once, and since it applies -1 to all your checks, it'll change all your skills to be ratcheted 1 down. So
I saw that. That's pretty cool.
yep. And you can just ignore the other effects that it does. That's stupid. Okay, well, we'll figure that out when we get to it. But yeah, you relay that. the vision of the what you would assume to be demons to everybody else.
And she looks rough.
Meryl, I will say that when at the mentioning of demons and such and the description, like you just like find yourself instinctively like growling aggressively at just the concept of them, just like.
Or the chaotic good.
Yep.
Now,
Yeah,
I had
or
asked earlier if anybody had vibe checked Serena.
yeah. I think people rolled some insights, but I can't tell which ones were which. No, you rolled them on the priest. I think you
I did
asked
roll
that.
that sweet 3 on her though, but that's a
Yeah.
3.
Yeah,
So
if anybody else who hasn't rolled a vibe check on Serena would like to vibe check Serena, go ahead.
I mean, I did during the conversation about her
Yeah.
reaction to. Does that count, or should I just make a general vibe check?
You can make a general vibe check. You're gonna get less specific stuff on it, but
Just like I'm vibe checking about the way she's approaching Alina, right?
oh, the way she's
Like her
approaching Alina.
demeanor when she's approaching.
Oh,
Alina.
she's very friendly when she approaches Alina.
Mm.
Like she's very warm and opening and sisterly sort of thing.
yuck.
Abel, same sort of overall vibe check. Approaching Alina warm and sistery. During the meeting after she removed her hood and you could see her face, she remained stoic and unmoved and not surprised by any of the conversations that went on. Yeah, she seemed she was either disinterested, like when it was talk of your family and such, or unsurprised when it was things about demons or other. Probably a little twinge of surprise at the you think that the Green Knight in Ishvalia is another one. It's just like, oh, okay.
Al did send me a message mid-conversation that said, "Don't you hate, don't you hate this bitch?" And I said, "Yes, I do. I do. Alina
Yep.
does not
Why?
yet.
What has she done?
Well, if she's Genevieve, then I have
Oh,
a lot of
she's like stealing your thunder, huh? As being the not like other girls.
no. There's a lot of stuff. Oh no, there's several ladies on
It
our
is
team.
less catty than that, I swear.
Oh, okay. I will be honest. I have not been paying attention.
I don't think Meryl would have either. So that tracks.
Listen, sometimes you play a character that suits your strengths, which is combat.
Yep. Yep.
I feel like that's a vibe.
And I have prepared quite a few avenues that result in heavy combat, and you guys have gone straight to the political stuff. So it's just how it goes.
But for Parth, stuff that I wrote, she does not care. She hates Genevieve for not the fact that that she's a lady, but what she has done.
Oh, okay.
But once again, Alina does not know that. I know that, and so I have to like separate literally church and state from from this because I'm just like, well, I believe I know what she has done, but Lev might have just topsy turvied it, which is totally cool, and I'm into that. But if what she has done is what I believe she has done, Alina will hate her.
Yeah, when she finds out.
The hatred will ride again.
Yep.
Because what I wrote originally, Rhea hated her. So, well, she liked her and
Wait.
then she hated her. It was a whole thing.
Hold on. This is gonna be a stupid question. Is Alina the awakened form of Rhea?
Alina, as far as we know right now, Alina is this age's Rhea.
Okay,
Like,
so
Rhea
Rhea is, as far
original-
as we understand it, Rhea is the concept of this person that's been not
Rhea
recycled.
is the original.
Okay.
The previous incarnation.
What
Okay.
what what Vagabond sort of pitched was reincarnation, and what I have given her was, you will every now and then get memories of some past things. I have not promised anything more specific than that.
Okay.
There are things that have been pitched, and there are things that I am making true.
And
as
that is why I
revelations happen.
said
Yeah.
topsy
All of the
turvy, and I'm into it. So
Are all of the flashbacks that you've had as like piloting Rhea like a mech, like in Rhea's body?
They're from point of view, and she has not seen whose point of view she is from.
Okay, because I thought I thought you did a quick analysis of that where you're like, okay,
We
who's
tried
not
to,
here?
but we
Tried
didn't.
to.
Yeah, we tried to,
The-
but we didn't get that.
That was the
Okay.
goal. The prompt given was, I want to see the final time when the Knights Eternal were all together, and she only saw from the point of view of one and then 3 others.
Okay, and how many are there?
There are 9 knights and then the king and queen, so 11.
Okay.
which I feel a little bamboozled. I said
mean,
Yep.
all of us are together.
Yeah.
Unless that is all of you.
Oh, sad.
I
No.
I made you give me exact wording, and I thought about it for like at least a minute.
He did.
Oh, hold on.
Like
Hold on. It's not the last time the knights were together. It's the last time all of them were together.
But
Right?
those four might have been all that was left.
Okay,
There
but
were-
no, that's not. That would be like the last time all of them were together, right? Not the last time they were together, all of them ever. So wouldn't you do like a flashback to, I don't know, like school days or something?
there were several different things that could have fit that criteria, but I have like points of events that happened that there could be flashbacks for that could have fit that. That was the one that I felt fit the prompt the best, and I will not tell you why or justify it.
Okay.
Well, I mean,
I'm sure
that's
it'll make
also
sense
just.
to
I'm
us
just
in
trying to be
retrospect
pedantic
eventually.
here.
Yes, no, and that was I was being pedantic to myself of like, fucking hell, because I have a few. This isn't like I'm making up all the stuff. Like, I have gone through, and it's like, here are important events that happen that like Vagabond is going to want to get access to, and of those ones, that's the one that fit the best.
Glad that my
And
character
that's
arc
just
has
that's
almost nothing. Literally just dog shows up in the fucking woods. Let's go, bitch. That's
I
it.
gave you a thing at the end of last session, and you didn't bring it up when you woke up to anybody.
No.
So
What? I mean, it's
I
just a
don't know
fucking
why
dream.
Mero would. Yeah,
It's just a fucking dream, bro.
yeah, that's fair.
Sometimes you dream about spooky shit. It's like sometimes things happen. You go, damn, that's fucked up, and then you just like move on.
Yeah, no, that's fair. So
But no, that explains a lot more. I think there's definitely been, I mean, obviously been situations where I haven't been fully paying attention or like known enough to know what was going on. So I wanted to ask for clarification.
there's also been some things that like only Mero has been around for, but I'm just like, oh man, if anybody else would hear, they'd notice this. Mero would not be paying any attention in any way, shape, or form. That's too bad.
Maro's experiencing the full like in the lore look back, but doesn't know enough to know that that's what's happening.
Mero has all the pieces to put it together. Unfortunately, they don't care.
Mero has all the pieces to the puzzle, but she doesn't have opposable thumbs to put it together with.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I do want to reiterate that I
Hold on.
do love the fact that this is a mystery to me as well.
Oh yeah.
Um,
If it's one of my things where it's like if a player gives a DM, it's like, this is my concept for a character and this is what I want to do. If you start the campaign knowing everything that's going to happen, that's boring to play. It can be good to watch. Like, it's fun when Dimension 20 does stuff like that, where it's like you get to play out what your arc is going to be, so you can set up foreshadowing and everything. We're not playing for an audience. We're playing for ourselves. I need to make things interesting for you. If you knew what the answer was to the mystery, then it's like, well, why fucking bother?
I will say, if that dumb bitch didn't commit the crime that she committed, I am going to be mad. But that's
Okay.
listen. I hate her in real life. But,
You're gonna feel so silly when it turns out that she didn't do it.
I'm gonna be so angry.
It's going to be a reverse Mari moment.
Listen, that's my biggest thing is because I have a really hard time because if for people, I guess I don't know, because it's based off Arthurian legend, right? And there's nothing I hate more in this world than people trying to justify Guinevere and Lancelot's actions in any sort of way.
No.
And because they're bad people.
Parf
They're
just over
bad
here like,
people.
sure, I know who those people are.
It just adds
They're
to the
bad.
mystery.
They're bad people, and I don't like them. I have never liked them. There's only one iteration of Lancelot that almost got to me, and I said, no, you can't do this to me. He's a bad man. But it's the yucky. Blah.
All right. Well, hopefully Tika is awake for next session. So,
Yeah.
although a good thing for it to end on because looks like Al was not able to make it through this one either. So again, I would usually rather lose 2 in the same night than like 1 every session. So
Listen, he's got a puppy that he has to
that's what he said.
deal with.
That's what he said.
I'm gonna stop the recording if we're
Yep.
finished.